All right, welcome back to this tournament here on February 26th at Wichita Hoops. We're playing the third game of pool play here. We did not record the second game of pool play. This is the Air Capital Aces versus the Kansas Networks Volleyball Club. And these two teams are getting ready to start play here. Coaches and ref are checking to make sure all the right players are in. Score is going to start off 4-4 here. That's what we do here in pool play. And Kansas Networks is going to be serving first. Looks like number 8 is going to be serving, and the ball's in play. Up by number 4, up by number 3, over by number 24. Kill by Kansas Networks. Score now is 4 for the Aces, 5 for Kansas Networks. Number 8 serving for Kansas Networks. Up by number 24, or 22, sorry. Over by 3, it's a dead ball. Point for Kansas Networks. All right, ball's in play, served by number 8 on Kansas Networks. Up by number 2, up by 3, and over by number 4. Up by 4, up by 3, over by 4. Up by 3, up by 9, over by 24. Up by 4. Tipped over by 24 and point for the Aces. Aces will serve next. Number 9 from the Aces is going to be serving. Good serve by number 9. And point for the Aces. Number 9 again serving for the Aces. Ball's in play, it's over the net. Bump up by 3, over by number 4. But it's out of bounds. Point for Kansas Networks. Number 7 serving for Kansas Networks, up by and over by 3, into a hole, point for the Aces. Score is now 7-7 for the Kansas Networks versus the Aces. Number 24 is serving for the Aces. Good serve by number 24. Ball's in play. It's over the net. Good up by 3 and over. Good save, good dig there. Good up by 3, up by 22, over by 4. This is going to be a tough team to beat. Up by 9, but it hits the ground. Okay, number 27 is coming in, 24 is coming out. Number 13 serving for Kansas Networks. Up by 3, up by 27, but it's out of bounds. Point for Kansas Networks. All right, number 13 here is serving. Up by number 3, up by 4. 2 gets it over. Back to our side. Up by 9, up by 4, over by number 2, and it's a point for the Aces. Number 4 is going to be serving here for the Aces. And the serve is good. Ball's in play. It's over the net, up by 4, bump up by 22, over by number 2. And, ball's still in play. It's over the net. That was a good save by the Aces. Up by 27, up by 9. Let's see if 4 can get it over. What an amazing save there by the Aces. Up by 27, up by 22. Number 2 gets it over. There's some fierce play in this set. Up by 4, up by 2. 22 gets it over. 22 tips it back over. And right into a hole. Point for Kansas Networks. Score now 10 for Kansas Networks, 8 for the Air Capital Aces. Number 10 serving for Kansas Networks. Up by 27, up by 2, over by 13. Up by 13 and tipped over by Kansas Networks. Point for Kansas Networks. Score now 11 for Kansas Networks, 8 for Air Capital Aces. And Kansas Networks number 10 serving. It's over, up by 13, up by number 9, over by 2, up by 4. Number 2 tips it over. Up, good dig by number 9, up by 4, up by 2. 13 hits it over. Up by 4, up by number 22, over by number 2, up by 4, 22 gets it up, and number 2 gets it over. It's in bounds, point for the Aces. And 22 is going to be serving here for the Aces. Good serve by 22, or it is out. Point for Kansas Networks. Score now is 12 for Kansas Networks and 9 for the Aces. And 22 serving for Kansas Networks. And it's in, point for Kansas Networks. And 22 serving again for Kansas Networks. And it's over, up by 22 and over, but back in the net by Kansas Networks. Point for the Aces. Score now is 13 for Kansas Networks, 10 for the Aces. Number 2 serving here for the Aces. And it's over the net. Up by 4. Oh, against the net, penalty on the Aces, point for Kansas Networks. Okay, 26 is going to be serving here for Kansas Networks. And the ball's in play, up by 22, up by 4, over by 2. Ball's back over the net, up by number 2, up by 4. 13 gets it over. Kansas Networks goes for a kill but doesn't get it over the net. Point for the Aces. Number 3 is coming in. Number 13 is coming out for the Aces. And number 3 is going to be serving for the Aces. It's served by 3, ball's in play. Okay, up by 4, up by 3, over by 24, but it looks long, and point for Kansas Networks. Hey, ball's in play, up by number 4, up by 24, over by 3, up by number 3, up by number 9, over by 24, but it's long. Point for Kansas Networks. Score now 16 for Kansas Networks, 11 for Air Capital Aces. Up by 2, up by 3, over by 24. And not over the net. Point for the Aces. Score now is 16 for Aces, 16 for Kansas Networks, 12 for Air Capital Aces. Number 9 serving for the Aces. Ball's in play. Right in. Good attempt by dig by number 2, but didn't quite get the height we needed on it, so not over the net. Goes back over to Kansas Networks to serve. Number 7 serving for Kansas Networks. Ball's in play, up by 2, up by 3, over by 4, up by 3, up by number 2. 3 gets it, bumps it up. 24 bumps it over. And point for the Aces. Ball was in the net. Didn't quite get it over. Number 24 now serving for the Aces. Nope, number 27 serving. 24 is coming out, 27 is coming in. Good serve by number 27. And the ball doesn't make it over the net. Point for the Aces. 27 is going to be serving again here for the Aces. And ball's in play. Ball's over the net. 27 and 9. Little got caught in traffic there, but they did get over. Okay, over by 2. Up by 9, up by 4, over by 2, up by number 2, up by 3, over by number 2, up by number 3. Number 22 tips it over the net, but it's outside the pole, so it's out of bounds. Point for Kansas Networks. .13 serving for Kansas Networks, up by number 9, up by 3, over by 22, up by number 9, up by 3, over by 2, and into a hole inside the bounds. Point for the Aces. Score now is 20 for Kansas Networks, 13 for the Aces. Okay, 13's coming in. Number 3's coming out for the Aces. Number 4 is going to be serving. All right, number 4 serving for the Aces. Ball's away. Good serve just over the net. Up by number 22, tipped over by 2, up by 2, up by 4, over by 13. And Kansas Network doesn't get it back over the net. Point for the Aces. Score now is 19 for Kansas Networks and 15 for the Aces. Number 4 serving here for the Aces. And good serve. Kansas Networks didn't return it, so point for the Aces. Number 4 will be serving again here. And a timeout's being called. We'll take a short break. All right, number 4 serving here for the Aces. And good serve by number 4. And it's not returned by Kansas Networks. Point for the Aces. Serve by number 4. Ball's in play. It's over the net. Up by 13. Up by 4. Over by 22. But it's out of bounds. Point for Kansas Networks. Score now is 20 for the Networks and 17 for the Aces. Number 10 serving for Kansas Networks. The ball's in play. It was low. Good dig by number 9. Gets it over the net. Up by 7 on the Networks. Up by 4. Up by 22. Over by 2. Up by 13. Up by 4. Over by 2. Up by number 9. Up by number 4. 13 hits it over. Just barely over. Doesn't get returned by the Networks. Hits the ground. Point for the Aces. Turning out to be a very close game here. 22 serving for the Aces. Score now is 20 for Kansas Networks, 18 for the Aces. Served by number 22. Ball's in play. Up by and over by 2. Up by 4 and over. Up by 4. Up by 13 and over. And it's going to be out of bounds on the Aces. Point for Kansas Networks. Score now is 21 for Kansas Networks, 18 for Air Capital Aces. Number 22 here is serving for the for Kansas Networks. Ball's in play. And it's out of bounds. Point for the Aces. Score now 21 for Kansas Networks, 19 for Air Capital Aces. Number 2 serving for the Aces. And up by number 4, up by number 13, over by 24. Up by 2, up by 4, over by 13. Up by 4 and over. Good dig by number 2. Oh, too many hits. Point for Kansas Networks. Score now is 22 for Kansas Networks, 19 for Aces. And up by 22, up by 13. And the ball's not returned over the net. Point for the Aces. And number 3 here serving for the Aces. Score is now 22 Kansas Networks, 20 for the Aces. Ball's in play. And right into a hole, not returned by the Aces. Point for Kansas Networks. Score now is 23 for Kansas Networks, 20 for the Aces. It's like number 8 serving for Kansas Networks, but it's not over the net, so point for the Aces. Scores 23 for Kansas Networks, 21 for the Aces. Number 9 serving for the Aces. Serve is good, ball's in play. Up by number 2, up by number 3, and over by number 4. Up by number 9. Up by number 3, bumped over by number 4, and not returned. Ball didn't make it over the net. Died on the Kansas Network side. Score is now 23 for Kansas Networks, 22 for the Aces. We'll see if the Aces can catch up here. Number 9 serving again. Ball is over and in play. Up by number 2, up by 3. Over by 4. Up by 4. Oh, and the ball dies on the Aces side. Point for Kansas Networks. Score now is 24 for Kansas Networks, 22 for the Aces. And up by number 2. Up and over by number 3. Up by 3. Up by 24. Over by 4. Up by 3. Up by 24. Over by number 4. Up by 9. Over by 4. Up by 24, over by number 4. Number 10 on Kansas Networks tried to get it over. Not quite enough height. Point for the Aces. Number 27 is coming in. 24 is coming out. 27 will be serving for the Aces. Good serve by 27. Ball's in play. Oh, ball was on the Aces side. 22 tried to tip it over, didn't quite get some height. That was point for this set. So 25 for Kansas Networks, 23 for the Aces. All right, we're getting ready to get started here. Ref looks like she's ready. And number 3 is going to serve for the Aces. Ball's in play. It's back over the net. Up by 3. Up by number 9. Over by 24. But it's out of bounds. Point for Kansas Networks. Kansas Networks now serving. Number 8 serving for Kansas Networks. Right into a hole. Point for Kansas Networks. Score is now 6 for Kansas Networks, 4 for our Capital Aces. Okay, number 8 serving for Kansas Networks, up by number 22, up and over by 3. 24 tips it over. Kansas Networks doesn't get it back over, but looks like we had a net infraction, so point for Kansas Networks. Number 8 serving for Kansas Networks. It's over the net, up by 22, up by 3, over by 24 with a bump. Up by number 2, up by 3, over by 24. Attempted kill by Kansas Networks, but didn't get it over the net. Point for the Aces. Score is now 7 for Kansas Networks, 5 for the Aces. Number 9 serving for the Aces. It's a good serve just over the net. Out of bounds on Kansas Networks. Point for the Aces. Score is now 7 for Kansas Networks, 6 for Air Capital Aces. Good serve by number 9. Ball's in play. Up by number 3. Up by number 2. Over by 4. Up by 2. Up by 3. And attempted tip over by 22, but doesn't quite get it over the net. Point for Kansas Networks. Okay, ball's in play. Up by 2, up by 9, over by 3. And Kansas Networks tried to kill it, but didn't get over to the net. Point for the Aces. Scores now 8 for Kansas Networks, 7 for Air Capital Aces. 24 is going to be serving here for Air Capital Aces. Looks like the serve's good. Ball's in play. It's back over the net, but out of bounds. Point for the Aces. All right, 24 serving here, and it's just barely over the net. It's good. Ball's in play. 13 from Network tips it over right into a hole, gets a point. Score is now 9, Kansas Network, 8 for the Aces. Number 13 serving for Kansas Network. And it's out of bounds. Point for the Aces. Even score now, 9-9. Kansas Networks versus the Aces. Number 4 serving for the Aces. Good serve by number 4. Oh, no, not a good serve by number 4. It's out of bounds. Point for Kansas Networks. Score is now 10 for Kansas Networks, 9 for the Aces. And number 10 serving for Kansas Networks, up by 4, over by 22. Up by 13, up by number 2, over by 4. Up by 4, up by 22, over by 2. Up by 27, good dig, over by number 2. Right into a hole by Kansas Networks, point for them. Score is now 11 for Kansas Networks, 9 for Aces. Number 10 again serving for Kansas Network. And it's out of bounds on the Aces, point for Kansas Network. All right, number 10 serving for Kansas Network. Good up, dig by number 13 and over. Up by 27, up by 4, over by 13. And it's out of bounds on Kansas Networks. Point for the Aces. Score is now 12 for Kansas Network, 10 for the Aces. All right, 22 serving here for Kansas Networks. And it is in. Great serve, not returned by Kansas Networks. Point for the Aces. Score is now 12 for Kansas Networks, 11 for the Aces. All right, 22 serving here. Ball's in play. Up by 24, up by 4, over by 2. Up by 4, up by 9, over by 13. Up by 9, up by 2, over by 13. Good. Number 4, good dig attempt, but he goes out of bounds. Point for Kansas Network. Number 24 is coming out. 27 is coming in. And number 22 serving for Kansas Network. Ball's in play, up by number 22, up by 4, over by 9. Up by 27, up by 4, over by 2. Tip over by Networks, up by 9, up by 27, over by 4. Up by 27, up by 9. Oh, and it doesn't quite make it back over the net. Point for Kansas Network. Score is now 14 for Kansas Network, 11 for Air Capital Aces. Number 22 serving for Kansas Network. And it's over, up by number 22, up by 4, and over by 9. Point for the Aces. Score is now 14 Kansas Network, 12 for the Aces. Well, I guess that wasn't a point for the Aces, my mistake. Looks like number 22 serving here, and the ball is good. Up by 22, up by number 2, and over by 13. Up by 2, up by 4, over by 2, out of bounds on Kansas Network. Point for the Aces. Score is now 15 for Kansas Networks and 12 for Air Capital Aces. Number 24 is coming in. Number 27 is coming out. Number 2 is going to be serving for the Aces. And it's good. Out of bounds on Kansas Networks. Point for the Aces. Score is now 15 for Kansas Networks, 13 for Air Capital Aces. Number 2 serving for the Aces. Ball's in play. Up by 2, up by 4, over by 13, into a hole, not returned by Kansas Networks. Point for Air Capital Aces. Get closer to a tie, 15 for Kansas Networks, 14 for the Aces. Number 2 serving for the Aces. Ball's away. It's back over the net, up by 2, up by 4. 24 hits it over, but not quite. Point for Kansas Networks. Scores now 16, Kansas Network 14 for the Aces. Number 26 serving for Kansas Networks. Up and over by 13. And too many hits out of bounds for Kansas Networks. Point for the Aces. Score is now 16 for the Aces and 16 for Kansas Networks, 15 for the Aces. Number 3 is coming in, 13 is coming out. 3 looks like 3 is going to be serving. Serve is good, ball's in play. Up by number 2, up by 22, over by 3. Good dig by 2 and over. Up by 3, up and over by 9, and out of bounds on Kansas Network's tie game now, 16-16, with number 3 serving for the Aces. Looks like a timeout's been called. We'll take a quick break. All right, number 3 serving here for the Aces. Team just came out of timeout. Ball's in play, and it's out of bounds on Kansas Network. Point for the Aces. Aces pull ahead here for the first time. Number 3 is going to be serving again for the Aces. Ball's away, and Kansas Network doesn't get it over the net. Point for the Aces. Aces start gaining points here. Score's now 16 for Kansas Networks, 18 for Capital Aces. Number 3 serving. Ball's away, and Kansas Network doesn't get it back over the net. Point for the Aces. Score's now 16. Kansas Network's 19 for the Aces. Number 3 serving for the Aces. And number 3 doesn't get the serve quite over the net. Going to be point for Kansas Network. Score is now 17 for Kansas Networks, 19 for Air Capital Aces. Number 8 serving for Kansas Networks, up by number 22, up by 3, over by 24, up by 3, up by 9, over by 24. And Kansas Networks doesn't get it over the net. Point for the Aces. Score is now 17 Networks, 20 for the Aces. Number 9 is going to be serving for the Aces. Good serve by number 9. Ball's in play. Up by 2. Up by 3. Number 4 hits it over. Up by 3. Up by number 24. And Aces don't get it back over the net. Point for Kansas Network. Number 7 serving for Kansas Network. Ball's away, right into a hole. Point for Kansas Network. Number 7 serving for Kansas Network. Ball's away, up by number 2, up by 3. 22 bumps it over. Up by 3, up by 2. Number 4 gets it over. Up by number 9, up by number 3. Number 4 hits it over, but Kansas Network blocks it. It comes back over the net, touches the ground on the Aces side. Point for Kansas Networks. Tie game again, 20-20 for Kansas Networks and Air Capital Aces. Number 7 serving for Kansas Networks. Up by number 22, up by 3, over by 24. Okay, up by 4, up by 3, and over, surprise. Up by 3, up by 22, over by 4. But that was, the ref called that inbounds, a point for Kansas Networks. Score is now 21 for Kansas Networks, 20 for Air Capital Aces. Number 7 serving for Kansas Networks. Up by 2, up and over by 4. Up by 24 and 3, over by 3. Kansas Networks tries to tip it over the net but doesn't get enough height. Point for the Aces. Tie game again, 21-21. Number 27's coming out. 27's coming in, 24's coming out. 27 will be serving. Good serve by 27. Up by 27, up by 3, over by 4. Up by 4, up by 3, over by 2, into a hole. Point for the Aces. 21, Kansas Networks, 22 for the Aces. Aces will again serve. Number 27 serving for the Aces. Good serve by number 27. Ball's in play. It's over the net. Up by 3. Up by 22. Over by number 4. Oh, right. So net by the Aces. Point for Kansas Networks. .13 serving for Kansas Networks. And they tip it over the net, not returned by the Aces. Point for Kansas Networks. 13 serving for Kansas Networks. Ball's in play, up by 9. Up by attempted up by 3, but she misses it. It's way out of bounds anyway. Point for Kansas Networks. Timeout being called. We'll take a short break. Our 13 serving for Kansas Network, up by 9, up by 4, up by 9, over by 22, up by 27, up by 22, over by 4, up by 9, up by 4, but it gets into the net. Point for Kansas Networks. Final score, 25 for Kansas Networks, 22 for the Air Capital Aces, and that's it for this round of pool play, and we'll see you at the next game.